Welcome to One Chapter, One Thought. I'm Pastor Chris from Lincroft Bible Church in New Jersey, and every weekday I read one chapter of the New Testament and offer one brief devotional thought. Today's reading is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7. Do not judge, so that you will not be judged. For in the way you judge others, you will be judged, and by your standard of measure, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but don't notice the log that is in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, "Let me take the speck out of your eye," and behold, the log is in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. Do not give what is holy to dogs, and do not throw your pearls before swine, or they will trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it will be opened. For what man is there among you who, when his son asks for a loaf of bread, will give him a stone instead? Or if he asks for a fish, you will not give him a snake, will you? If you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father who is in heaven give what is good to those who ask him? In everything, therefore, treat people the same way you want them to treat you, for this is the law and the prophets. Enter through the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is broad that leads to destruction, and there are many who enter it. For the gate is small and the way is narrow that leads to life, and there are few who find it. Beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruit. Grapes are not gathered from the thorn bushes, or figs from thistles, are they? So every good tree bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot produce bad fruit, nor can a bad tree produce good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. So then you will know them by their fruits. Not everyone who says to me, "Lord, Lord," will enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father who is in heaven will enter. Many will say to me on that day, "Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name cast out demons, and in your name perform many miracles?" And then I will declare to them, "I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness." Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and acts on them may be compared to a wise man who builds his house on the rock. The rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and slammed against the house, but it didn't fall, for it has been founded on the rock. Everyone who hears these words of mine and does not act on them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and slammed against that house, and it fell, and great was its fall. When Jesus had finished these words, the crowds were amazed at his teaching, for he was teaching them as one having authority and not as their scribes. One thought. We come to the end of the Sermon on the Mount, which is the first teaching section in the Gospel of Matthew. This sermon is dedicated to explaining how we flourish in life, what the true blessed life looks like, and it is the life that is under the lordship of Jesus. And the whole sermon that Jesus preaches really escalates and gets to the point of everything here at the very last section of chapter 7. The point of everything is this: what are you building your life on? Is it Jesus' words, or is it something else? Jesus uses this memorable parable of two builders, one that builds his house on the rock and one that builds his house on the sand. And as we look at this parable, there's a couple of reflections that I have about what Jesus is saying here. First of all, we see that storms come for all people. All people. It doesn't matter who you are. The storms of life, the suffering, the tragedy, the difficulties, the opposition, the rejection, the disease, the health issues, all the storms of life comes for both sets of people. The language is the exact same used of both builders. They build a house, and then it says, the rain fell, the floods came, the winds blew and slammed against the house. Mirror, image, same language, both apply to the builder on the rock and the builder on the sand. So just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you'll be exempted from the storms of life. Everybody has to deal with the storms of life, whether you're religious or irreligious, whether you're a Christian or Muslim, whether you claim the name of Jesus or claim no particular belief system. Everyone suffers, everyone goes through hard times. The question, though, is What are you building on? And I think pressing this point further is it's easy to say you believe, but living your life because you believe are two vastly different things. Let me repeat that. Saying that you believe in Jesus and living because you believe in Jesus are two vastly different things. Anyone can claim to be a Christian, but Jesus says, it's not just about what we profess with our mouths, but does our life reflect what we profess? Does our life reflect what we actually believe? So, are you building your house on the rock? Are you hearing Jesus' words? Are you believing Jesus' words? And then, most importantly, are you putting them into practice? Because building our lives on the solid foundation of Jesus' words is essential for enduring the storms of life. They're coming for all of us. But when we not only hear, but act on his teachings, we are then established in our faith, a faith that stands firm.